You've been out looking for apartments and it's been an exhausting search. After too many false leads to count, you finally set in on the apartment for you. The price is right, the neighborhood is close to work, there's even a park nearby. There's just one detail that isn't quite working out for you. The apartment faces a very busy street with an incredible amount of noise going on at multiple times of the day. You're tired of looking for apartments and ready to call this one home, but have no idea how to handle the noise. We're talking about handling noise pollution on this episode of Renter Confidential. All real estate is unique. Even apartments in the same apartment community are different from each other. They occupy different spaces, face different directions, and yes, some of them even face very busy and noisy streets and intersections. Thus, noise pollution is a very common concern for renters because they believe there's little or nothing they can do about it. But there are specific strategies that renters can use to navigate noise pollution and make their living situation more comfortable. The first strategy is to think three-dimensionally. When looking at apartments, most people think that to get away from street noise, they need to be on the other side of the apartment community. But there is another alternative. The higher the floor your apartment is on, the further away from the street noise you are. So ask the leasing agent if there are similar apartments available on higher floors. The vertical distance from the street counts too. Just because an apartment is on the street, that doesn't mean the street noise will necessarily impact your use of the apartment. Consider how the apartment is configured. Is the bedroom facing the street? Or is it the living room that faces the street? What times of the day will you be home the most? The configuration of the apartment and your lifestyle will definitely impact the specific times of day when the street noise will impact you the most. On rare occasions, renters have an opportunity to impact renovations that may be done on their future apartment. If you find an otherwise perfect apartment for you and the landlord is doing some renovations, you might suggest dual pane windows be part of their renovation plan. If they're not quite sold on the idea, you might even offer to cover a portion of the cost to install them. If they still aren't sold on the dual pane window idea, and the walls will be opened as part of their renovation, you might ask for better insulation. This will also help keep the noise down. In fact, in our episode on the most desired apartment amenities, soundproofing ranked number 3, preferred by 90% of renters. To check out other amenities renters are looking for, click the link below in the show notes. Unfortunately, most renters don't have these types of opportunities, but there are still ways to create a similar effect without renovation, and in many cases without drilling any holes or creating any permanent damage. You can purchase window inserts that create a dual pane effect. These inserts are removable, lightweight, and easy to install. You don't have to get inserts for all the windows in the apartment, only the ones facing the noise source that you'd like to block out. And best of all, you don't need the landlord to approve them or even be involved. But it may still be worth having the conversation anyway. Since the inserts are specific to the windows in that apartment, the landlord may be convinced it's in their interest to cover part of the cost. The bigger the window, the more it will cost, but a future of good night sleeps might be worth it. The reason the landlord may help with this cost is because the inserts are specific to the apartment, so you likely won't be taking them with you, and they'll benefit whoever rents the apartment next. How you decorate your apartment can have a big impact on how much noise you experience as well. Heavy fabric curtains can absorb outside noises, while rugs can help block noise from downstairs neighbors. Furniture such as sofas and bookcases can also block out noise. The more books on that bookcase, the better. These can also be used to create a layering effect. Using the sound inserts over the window and layering curtains over that will improve your noise blocking performance. That new job you've been looking for finally came through, so you're taking on a new adventure in a brand new city, which all means one thing: packing, and the stress it brings. But you can drop all that stress for free with Apartment Search Secrets. With this short ebook at your side, you'll know your value as a renter. You'll know what the internet can't tell you. You'll see landlord problems coming a mile away. And you'll get the best perspective on your rental search. Visit rentalsecrets.net for your free copy today. Alternatively, a white noise machine is another option to help lull you to sleep. These devices create constant background noise, which helps drown out street noise. This can make it easier to sleep or focus if you're trying to work. Taking this suggestion even further, earplugs are cheap, simple devices that will block out nearly all sound. Unfortunately, that's also why they aren't useful in all situations. If you have a baby or a child in your household, earplugs will also prevent you from hearing them if they call out to you. But they can be very effective and cheap solutions. Noise doesn't only come from the street. It can also come from neighboring apartments. If there is a loud noise coming from a neighboring apartment, this falls squarely into the landlord's hands to handle. But you can make it easier for them. Document the time and date of each noise occurrence, as well as which apartment it is coming from. If you have the opportunity, talk to your neighbors and see if they heard the same thing. Provide this information to the landlord. Having the specifics will make it easier for the landlord to confront the offending neighbor and move more quickly towards inviting them to leave should the situation get to that point. Lastly, keep in mind that after living in the apartment for a while, your brain may just begin to block out the noise on its own. Apparently, certain neurons in the brain are designed to focus on new noises. This is important from a survival standpoint, as a new noise may constitute a threat. But after repeatedly hearing the same noise, it stops being new and these neurons stop firing. This may be why many renters who live on a busy street eventually feel that the noisy street is no longer a distraction. But of course, you have to live in the apartment for a while in order to reach that point. So here are the takeaways. Don't overlook a great apartment or apartment community just because it faces or is adjacent to a busy street. There are a number of strategies you can use to address that concern, from choosing high apartments on higher floors to window inserts to heavy curtains. Each of these options will cut down on the noise coming into your apartment. Take advantage of any renovation period to suggest noise-reducing improvements. Don't be afraid to ask the landlord to cover part of the cost. After all, they may benefit long-term as well. And remember that while the street noise may be disruptive when you initially move in, its effect may diminish over time as you, quote unquote, get used to it, and those new noise neurons stop firing all the time. These proactive steps can help you score a great deal that the rest of the rental market just might overlook. Thanks for watching Renter Confidential. Happy apartment hunting. And when it comes to renting, insider information is the best roommate you can ever have.